Is it recording?
It is recording.
Okay.
I had a wild dream last night that the three of us, you two somehow were in my dream. This is the first time it ever happened.
Do you dream?
Yeah, lately I've been dreaming. I recently stopped vaping nicotine and started dreaming a little bit after that. I think
Really?
Yeah, I think your brain
That doesn't even add up to me because nicotine makes your brain more active.
makes it more stimulating.
But I thought weed
more
was the
stimulating.
shit that made you not.
Listen, I will donate my brain to science.
You're really an anomaly.
I think I am. Thank you so I'm a very special young man.
Yeah, special.
But you guys made an appearance in my dream, and we got into a cult, the three of us, which was pretty wild.
Who's the leader of the cult?
That I don't know.
So not one of us was the leader.
I don't dream clearly. I don't remember the dreams.
Were we in robes? Were we all fucking?
That's the only thing I
Was it a
remember.
sex cult?
We got out of it though. So we got out of it, and everybody was kind of doing their own take on it, and a lot of stand up about it. It was
There's stand up in your dreams.
yeah.
God.
It was
That's a nightmare, dog.
You're right. It was a nightmare because barely anybody showed up. It was exactly like real life stand up. Like I couldn't even dream in like Netflix stand up. I was dreaming in like there's 8 people here. Yeah, there's been a lot of cult material already. Everyone's talking about the cult.
Right.
If I bring it up on stage, it's going to seem like it's too many
But
people.
also if I don't bring it up, it
It'd be
feels
crazy.
like I'm an
I was there.
aberration.
I wrote 8 minutes on being in this cult and getting liberating ourselves from it. That's a part I firmly remember in the dream. But other than that, I just thought it was interesting that the two of you showed up. My brain was somehow preparing myself to see the two of you today.
Oh, interesting. If you were to fall for a cult, what would be the best approach for you? Would it be a sex cult? Would it be a religious cult? Would it be a celibate cult? Would it be...
Yeah, interesting. Maybe a cult where you get abs or something. Like here's the thing. I'm not going to handle well in the sex cult. I'm 32.
So you want like the saltpeter type, the ones that get rid of your boners, that kind of cult?
I still
Where they put stuff in your food?
I enjoy having a boner. It's not that I don't enjoy.
You enjoy... God, every time I have a boner, it's like, God damn it.
Yeah, see, you and I are different.
I was at the thrift store the other day, and this girl was wearing a tank top with no bra under it, and I could see her nipples, and I was like... And then her girlfriend pinched her nipple that you could see through the wife beater. And I was like, fuck, dude.
And that
I gotta go straight home.
And that gave you a boner? See, I
Yeah.
don't get boners like that.
I had to go straight home.
I get boners some mornings I feel alive. You know what I mean? And I got a boner, and it's not tied to any particular specific incident or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel alive when it's happening, you know? Mm-hmm. That's what I like about it. It's not even the sexuality of it, but it's like, I'm alive, baby.
Do you tie it off like a war wound? Try to keep it hard all day?
Yeah, I would. Maybe I'm going to try that. I'm going to get
It's like an OD green rag around it. It says born to kill, tied real hard around your cock.
I'm going to go get a cock ring tonight.
Yeah.
And just wear it around for that specific
I got a
reason.
few in my car unopened if you need one.
Dude, don't even joke with me like that, Brian. I don't even want to think about that with you. Jesus Christ, dude. You're like my father. Really.
It's like a punk collar. It has studs on it.
Jeez Louise.
It's super sick.
Welcome to the worst hour of the week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start the show because that was just too...
Are you dressing up for Halloween?
I don't ever dress up for Halloween. That's not true. Sometimes I'll pull off a super cool costume every once in a while.
Did you dress up as like what, Gary Johnson one year?
In 2013, I'm sorry. In 2015, I dressed up as Milo Yiannopoulos at a Halloween party, which was a super sick one. People were like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "You'll see."
Yeah.
Y'all see. You will see. I was really arrogant about it. I put on a blonde wig.
Wait, you dressed up as him before anybody knew who he was?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
So all night I was explaining to people. And let me tell you right now, this is why I don't dress up for Halloween. It's not that I'm too cool for it. It's that I get addicted to this kind of power. I get drunk off of it. I walk around all night. Oh, hey, you'll never guess what I am. Oh, you want to know what I am? Well, do you know anything about Henry Kissinger? And then it's like, it's this conversation. What do you know exactly about the Palestinian Liberation Front? It's a grassroots organization. Yeah, you don't want me at your Halloween party. So I tried to refrain from it, but I was Milo Yiannopoulos before anybody knew who he was. Are you planning on dressing up for Halloween?
Well,
we know Tyler is. We know Tyler's going to some 90s night or whatever.
He's probably going as like the Scream Killer, some kind of film related thing.
Oh yeah. He's going as Alfred Hitchcock.
Dude, you should go as Who directed Taxi Driver?
Martin Scorsese.
You should go as Scorsese from Taxi Driver.
Oh, you
in
should.
the back with the beard.
Yeah.
You should go as a cat being saved, like from Save the Cat, the book.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
That could be like a real. By the way, Tyler, you get to have the conversation with people,
and
like,
then he can
from the
go. That's
screenwriter
actually
book.
not even a really good book. Like it's like full blah 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 blah,
very
whatever
basic,
a screenwriter
but-
would say.
Yeah.
Douchey shit.
Well, it's just sort of a referential thing. I mean, obviously, people aren't going to know the more complicated screenwriting books.
I wonder if Save the Cat is good because, like, with punk, like you get into the Ramones as a kid, and then you like kind of stray away from the bands that you can find patches in at the store, and then when you get older, you're like, those really are the best bands. The Misfits, the Ramones, Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, I mean, look, I read Save the Cat. It was written by the guy who wrote the movie Blank Check.
I didn't know he had that kind of cred.
So he's not just a guy who's.
I have that on Blu-ray.
Yeah, he's not a guy out there just talking shit.
Blank check.
So, when I first started stand-up comedy, or when I first thought about starting stand-up comedy, because here's the thing, I'm a very pragmatic guy. I'm not a guy who lives life. I don't write. I'm not just gonna jump in. I read a book called How to Do Stand-Up Comedy by a guy named Greg Dean, who ended up being like a stand-up comedy teacher in Los Angeles.
Oh my God!
I know that name.
You know the name Greg Dean?
Was it like?
You know the name Greg Dean? Hell yeah!
Was it a Kindle or like was it a published book?
It was a published book. It was like a Comic Sans font. And it was like How to Do Stand-Up 101. So I was like, no, I'm gonna
Chapter 1, Misdirection.
Well, chapter 1 through 10 was misdirection. It was all, every single thing was, every chapter was just a different way to do a misdirection. But when I one time did a show where he would like, it was like I got asked to do a show where it was like his graduating class or whatever.
Oh, I've done, the Flappers had me years ago on a Flappers graduating class.
Mm-hmm.
Thing.
First of all, it's a big deal when you're there, right? You feel like a hot shot.
I definitely didn't feel like a hot shot. I felt like I want out of this situation as fast as possible. I feel like such a loser.
Well, I was like 3 years into comedy when it happened with me, so it wasn't like I wasn't in demand in a ton of places.
And you slaughtered and
without question, yeah, because I slaughtered for all the wrong reasons. Because all of them just had like horrible habits still, and were
yeah.
But anyways, I remember when I saw Greg Dean, I was a little starstruck.
Did he do a set?
He did not do a set. Wow.
He didn't MC?
Wow. We only paid $20 to be there. You think he's gonna fucking MC for $250?
What is he like? Is he a kind of comic who does like wait, don't tell me?
I don't even think he does that. No.
He's not even that big.
I just think he's just selling books and fucking and just milking poor children who just moved to Los Angeles.
Oh boy.
Hey, you know what? You got to do what you got to do.
You should start a stand-up class. I think you'd be good at that kind of ring.
I would love to be more of an adjunct professor at a stand-up comedy university. Maybe I could
like a visiting residency.
Exactly. Come in. I do crowd work.
A residency at Flappers University.
Yeah.
That
wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind it at all. I set up in front of the class. I have a row of like a black guy in a wheelchair, Asian woman, like white guy,
and they're all belly laughing, holding their bellies laughing.
And I'm showing the class, right? Like the class is looking at me, and I'm showing them how my techniques with crowd work.
Right.
I notice this guy's in a wheelchair. I notice she's Asian. I'm thinking of social studies textbook, and then I do the joke then.
Oh, right. So and then behind you should have like red string.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, no, that's what it should be, not the front row. It should be pictures of an Asian, pictures of a black guy, picture of a wheelchair with red strings going through them, and little riffs, like says chopsticks, and it says numb legs on there, and it's all touching. Yeah,
we'll do a textbook together.
Crowd
work textbook, because there's always two names.
Yeah,
Voki and Badawi.
Exactly. How to do crowd work.
Crowd work. Yeah. The cover is just a social studies textbook. It's perfect. I love this.
Oh Christ!
Did you got the email that I sent you right earlier, Tyler?
Is it the doc?
Yeah,
I already got him set up with
all
the doc.
set up there.
Yes.
Fantastic. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fantastic one today. Before we get into it, there's a lot going on with Taiwan. Wait, hold on. Let me open up this doc. Sorry, I lost it. Give me a second. But in the meantime, let me say this. We do have our show this Friday at the Hollywood Improv, 7:30. if you have not gotten tickets, you should get tickets.
Yeah, and if you're in the Patreon, DM us and we'll get you in for free.
Link will be in the bio. It's looking like it's going to be a fantastic time. We just found out 25% of the tickets are sold out.
That's true.
Already.
We still got 6 more days. 4 more days.
So with that type of with those kinds of numbers on our side, statistically, it's just gonna
Wait, so the Improv opened in what, like 75? So it took us about 50 years to sell the 10 tickets.
Yeah.
And now we got 4 days to
do the rest. You should have been planning for the show for 2 years now. Sorry, I don't have any of this stuff in front of me. I had a lot of awesome riffs written. Dude, you know what happened is I changed my my Google password, and now Tyler's story. A lot of the listeners have messaged me about Tyler's story and enjoying Tyler's foibles.
Yes, I got some messages too.
If there's anything that episode should have really taught you last week was make sure your passwords are all kind of updated in a way that makes sense.
If not, we know somebody we can hit up to remember your password for you.
Especially if you're about to make any life decisions. Just
like
change your password.
Yeah.
Divorce, you want to date somebody new, you want to fucking sell your cell phone.
Set up your 2-step verification as well.
Set that 2-step up.
Tyler, did you have 2-step verification set up?
I don't know, but I did get an email, and that's how I figured it out.
Oh, you got the
Okay.
email.
Yeah.
There's suspicious activity. That's the thing about Google is they're kind on some level like they're taking all your data and doing whatever with it, but they're also looking out.
Is your contract severed yet?
No, that takes like 6 months.
Why does it take 6 months?
I have no idea.
Sorry.
Is it just like it just takes 6 months because you need different people to like a notary along the way?
I have no idea because I'm having to do that, and then there's a name change and stuff.
The legal
You're changing your name?
Yeah.
No, I'm not changing.
That would be so awesome if we found out Tyler had taken his wife's name the whole time.
His last name is like Swanson. He's like not Mexican at all. He's been lying the whole time.
He's like Mayor, what was that guy's name? Viragosa, the Los Angeles mayor?
Was he fake Mexican?
The old mayor of Los Angeles was named Tony Villar. That was his name. And then he got married to a lady that had like some last name. He was able to derive Agosa from it.
Yeah.
And he merged the name Villar with Viragosa.
To be
more
appeal.
Mexican.
Well, Bill de Blasio is not really Italian. That's not his last name.
Yeah,
He's got a German last name.
That's hilarious. People don't realize that politicians walk around with sometimes have stage names. Which is
yeah, exactly. And also, you really know who has power in your city with the ethnicity of the name they change it to.
Yeah, that's why I'm actually changing my name Ramsey Kim. I'm going full Korean.
You have a decent Korean haircut.
I have a decent Korean haircut.
You got to straighten the hair, though.
I do look like I shop at Uniqlo, which I think is a Korean store.
That's something I can't
You got
help
great
you with.
T-shirts.
I am a huge fan of the culture. I grew up with Korean, so I'm going full Korean.
Do you feel like Koreans run L.A.?
I think they have a lot more power than you realize. I think Koreans run America, dude.
I would change my name to Goldstein/Gonzalez.
Oh, that's
if I was running for mayor
something
of
in
New
Los
York.
Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles. Sorry, not New York.
Brian Goldstein Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Hyphenated.
Yeah, Goldstein Gonzalez.
So nobody knows which one you are, by the way.
Right,
so
right.
I might be the Jewish guy. I might be the
Either
Latina.
way, I know I'm intimate with both of your cultures.
With both cultures. I like that. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Tyler, what race are you going with?
You're running for mayor of San Francisco.
Whatever you want to run for, just sort of
Yeah.
you gotta pick the one that you think you can kind of run with. It has to be based on your personal experience, and you can't say Mexican.
No, you can't.
I already
'cause
got Mexican. I
Yeah.
don't know what to do.
All right, Tyler.
I got Goldstein.
Has there ever been a Mayor Tyler?
Yeah, I couldn't vote for a guy named Tyler. I gotta be honest with you. I need you to change your first name.
Yeah.
I would.
What up? I'm Tyler. I'm running for mayor.
Yeah, I would need you to change. Really, I'd like to drop the T if possible from your first name. Just sort of not a good letter to start on.
Eiler. That sounds like Russian to me.
Well, I just mean pick a new name and it can't start with T. I'm not voting for anybody with a T in their name. It's barely a sound.
What about Theodore? Like a th.
I'll do a th.
Yeah.
I'll do a th. But as soon as he goes to Teddy, he's lost my vote. As soon as he starts trying to get informal with me, out.
It is funny that we had a president, Teddy.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote. Why? I'm sure he didn't write Teddy on his ballot. That's where you got to flex your name.
Right.
You write that was an art, man. When I used to work in politics, it was a lot of like, we got to write this guy a good catchy name. Community organizer was Barack Obama's famous cool name, cool ballot designation or whatever.
Was that his credit on his first ballot?
Yeah,
community organizer.
Community organizer is supposed to be dog whistle for communist.
Yeah. Weather underground.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of that era of politics, we lost a man today to COVID.
You're going to start off with bad news?
We're going to start off with this bad news real quick. A man who...
That's not the worst hour way.
He was 80...
Granted, the title is worst hour. I understand.
He was an old man. He never learned how to say his name right.
His name is actually Colin Powell. I didn't even realize that.
He's never said his name right once. He was a liar. He sold the war in Iraq.
Wait. You don't... Well, has he not said his name right before?
It's Colin.
I think he's got one L in there. It's Colin, dog.
Colin is one L too.
I feel like Colin.
Did you think Colin was... No, Colin's the last name will have two L's, but when you meet a Colin, like a Colin Quinn, it's spelled the same as colon.
Can you clip this, by the way, of this clip of our podcast of Brian correcting an African-American on how to pronounce his name? Can you clip that, really, and just put that... We'll use it to promote this week. How does that sound? Freaking pig, man. This guy's never going to blow up on TikTok like me. That's the difference between him and me, man.
It's not Condoleezza Rice.
Look at him. He's going even harder. He's digging even harder. You're breaking all of our black heroes today? You're going after Condoleezza Rice? What's next?
Candace fucking Owens?
Oh, what's next? What's his name? Ben Thompson?
Who are you talking about?
What was the secretary? What was the HUD secretary? Ben Carson.
Ben Carson. Oh, yeah.
Ben Thompson is a better name.
Didn't Ben Carson die of COVID?
No, that was Herman Cain.
Herman Cain died of COVID.
It is. Look,
I think we just listed every black Republican.
No, there's a great Key and Peele sketch where it's called the Black Republican Monolith, where they basically do a full room of black Republicans, and their entire quirk is that they all adjust their pants the same way. It's great. It's
yeah.
Are
they all scared when they walk in the room? That would be like, I would think it would be really funny if they were terrified to be in a room full of black people. Each black Republican.
Yes, yeah, they were scared each run around.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go back and we'll redo this. We should remix. You know how people duet things on TikTok? Let's take their sketch and then let's do our version of it. I'm sure that'll basically be a
I mean, nobody wants
TV
anything that you've created yourself. It needs to be lip syncing. It needs to be the same exact thing, the same sounds.
There are some things, and I hate to make it kind of, and by the way, I realized the other day we talk a lot about, Brian's Hollywood Minute or Hollywood Talk with big show business or whatever the hell it's called. Tyler's such a perfect co-host for you on that show.
For the Hollywood Minute?
So for the Hollywood Minute, what we'll
I'm going to have a co-host for a minute-long segment?
It's not a Hollywood Minute. We can't outright steal David Spade's thing.
That's a Hollywood moment. So we didn't outright steal it.
I kind of like it. We sort of China manufactured it.
This is right up your alley.
Okay.
Dude, by the way,
I like where we're going with this.
Speaking of China, I was on the Reddit thread passive income.
Okay.
Because I had heard that term recently, and I was like, that sounds like the best kind of income. So I was like, what is it? I went on the Reddit thread passive income. Apparently, people are ordering furniture off of Alibaba and then just selling it on Craigslist like 10 times more expensive.
Alibaba will seriously blow your dick off how cheap it is. I have on a number of occasions at night been stoned out of my fucking mind 11:30 and been really having a serious conversation with myself where I'm like, this electric car is $2,000. It's a brand new electric car. It's $2,000.
It's a charger with a USB-C.
It's basically that. Like China has no regulations when it comes to like certain things like that, where it's like it's not legal. It's not street legal anywhere, but it can go 20 miles an hour.
I mean, people are literally starting their own phone companies where they order generic smartphones from Alibaba and then they just program their OS, put it on there, and now they have a business. So anyway, this is going to be, I mean, to me, that's not technically passive income because it's still, you still have to do stuff.
Yeah. But, it's good, though. I like that because I was always, everybody tells you to sell on eBay. Yeah. Nobody talks to you about what you can do on Alibaba.
But yeah, just going and buying Alibaba shit and flipping it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to buy like maybe some furniture and see what I can do.
Now's I'm telling you, you will be successful in this. Now might be a challenging time due to the global supply chain shortages. Now, I read the other day, China typically takes 40 days to ship something to the United States in the crates. Because of the supply chain shortage, it's now 80 days on average. I have not noticed a fucking bit. Everything seems to be, my life is running smooth as shit.
Yeah. Listen, if gas was cheaper, I wouldn't even, I'd be like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Gas is the only thing that I'm noticing right now.
My life couldn't be any smoother. So, but all I'm saying is if you're ordering things that are coming from Alibaba, there may be a huge delay. It might be a better move for you to be planning to start this business somewhere in March. You know what I mean? That's when the merchandise is going to come.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, passive income is not your main income.
Yeah.
So, it's a passion project. So I don't mind starting it, in March. That's
You're
fine.
going to lose a little bit of money
I'm in
up
no
front,
rush.
but it's a passion.
I think I might get a little floral stencil.
Yeah.
And maybe paint a little floral pattern on it and then call it and just write the words mid-century. People eat up that word.
Yeah.
So I just say, oh, this is a mid-century dresser.
Ooh.
I get it for $8 off of Alibaba. I sell it for $150 to some douche in Silver Lake.
Can I give you even a better piece of advice? Buy African art off of Alibaba. First of all, I'm sure it's available for pennies because of whatever.
And they probably legitimately stole it from all the countries they're
whatever
pillaging.
countries they're pillaging right now. They're just immediately taking it back the mob.
This is legitimate Somali masks.
It's like perfect, beautiful. It's like beautiful.
10,000 years old. It's like King Tut's cock ring.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
I think that you can probably in LA start a legitimately good Ethiopian art shop, and nobody knows.
I come out in a daishiki.
See, this is where you're missing it, Brian.
Oh, okay.
We look for a local Ethiopian boy, and we have him work at the store. So it seems like it's his store.
And he's really young. So then now the newspapers are coming in saying, look at this young entrepreneur.
Yeah, exactly.
And they want to build him up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're paying him pennies on the dollar.
Pennies on the dollar. Well, obviously gets an American citizenship, which is an incredible.
Tyler, will you look up what money do they have?
The Ethiopian dinar or dollar.
I think it's $1.
Ethiopians, by the way, culturally, as an Arab, I click with an Ethiopian. Similar.
Good food.
Similar language.
I will say that I don't like that the food is made to be eat with your hands with everybody together. Like I've eaten a lot of Ethiopia. You're supposed to just rip the bread and dip.
That's very Semitic. Arabs are very similar in that way as well. Yeah. You're not. That's too much for you.
It's the hands.
What's the problem with the hands?
Other people's hands gross me out.
Interesting.
Like in the food.
I'll tell you right now, don't go to the Middle East because you're going to be sharing a lot of meals with some of the grossest hands you've ever seen in your entire life.
Just nicotine stains.
I'm telling you this as somebody who's deep love and passion for my people and has spent a lot of times eating with these people. And
I go like this. I pull a hair out. It takes like 5 minutes to pull it out. It's a knuckle hair.
It's going to be it's going to be a lot of that.
And then it just, when it gets all the way straight out of your mouth and when the end pops, it goes bing, kinks right back into a spring.
Old. I mean, it's and you're sitting right in each other's grill. You're
on the floor, I imagine.
On the floor. Usually there's a little small table in the middle, kind of holding everything
really
up.
Beautiful ornate tea kettle, I would imagine.
If you want, if I'm trying to impress you. If I want to impress you with my tea, with what I drink tea out of.
I mean, I'm impressed.
I do think that is funny. I never really thought about that before, but we come from a big time family of like ornate tea. tea
I've watched so many because listen, I mean, I think everybody's listened to more than 2 episodes of this podcast knows that I have a lot of pretense and some douchey tendencies. So I do watch a lot of travel videos of like white people going to like places like Iraq as a tourist.
Yeah.
And like they always get linked up with these families who bring out these beautiful tea sets and they really like and I'm like, I want that so bad. I want to go to like the Christian northern part of Iraq.
Yeah.
Go hang out there, drink the really nice silver tea kettle.
I just
people driving me around trying to show me old ruins.
I come from Palestine. I hung out in Palestine. I'm basing all my experiences on being Palestinian and all this.
You've never been to anywhere else besides Jordan and Palestine?
Jordan and Palestine, Saudi Arabia as well. And
like you got off the plane and
I think I took a bus to Saudi Arabia.
From where?
It's like a couple of hours. It's not that far from Jordan. It's one of those things where you'd be shocked how close everything is over there.
How was that bus ride? Just nothing?
It was rough.
Was it air conditioned?
No.
No? Well, I know that sounds like a crazy question, but the Saudis are rich, so I would imagine they would have very nice buses.
The Saudi Arabian citizen, on average, is not doing well. It's not like the UAE.
Was it like the Chinatown bus, though? Was there like chickens on it and shit?
No chickens on it, but close. It got close. Like women are walking in with just stacks of bread on their head.
Oh, sick.
You know what I'm talking about? That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So people are eating like people are eating cheese that doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
You know, it's like pickled cheese out of a jar. It's the real deal.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia is unlike the UAE. The UAE is sort of this playground where, you know, they're rich kings and like they invite their rich buddies to come through. Saudi Arabia is really like the 1% is the family and that's it. Whereas in the UAE, you got people who are like from England and from, you know, whatever.
Right.
Saudi Arabia, very strict laws. You got to be Muslim to be in the country. You know, you can't be Christian at all, even as a tourist.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's by its nature, it's going to limit some of the Playboy action.
We should do a deep dive on all those Western influencers getting flown out to Dubai.
Dude, I would love to go out to Dubai. I actually was talking to, you know, a comedian named Lisa Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really funny. She writes.
I don't know her personally, but
she opens for Jim Jeffries. She was talking to me the other day about. I'm gonna maybe see if she'll come on the show and talk about it. She did a bunch of shows out in Dubai, and she was talking about how like crazy, like, well, obviously I know it's crazy and you know it's crazy, but she's a white chick. I don't think she knew how crazy it was going to be.
Right. Yeah. I've done a podcast with Jason Collins about this exact same thing because he opens for Russell Peters.
And he does a lot of shows over there. I
Yeah.
assume,
And he gets those plane tickets where you have your own pod with like a bed and like a sofa seat, like a recliner seat. Like it's just an amazing flight. He's like, the flight is the best part.
I love that a really nice flight is like a shitty studio. You have a shitty studio apartment for a couple hours.
But I would say it's
got
not
a
even
hot plate.
It's not even a shitty. I would say it's more like the apartment you get to cheat on your wife if you're doing pretty well.
Sure. I suppose I see what you're saying. They've got high quality.
Like it's like a leather chair.
There.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you got a woman bringing you hot cooked meals.
It's fine. I just sort of, for me, I don't know if I could ever comfortably sit in that plane.
Dude, like if I could I'm going to Europe in March. Like I go there every year, and the older I get, the more my knees just are on fire. By the time I get from LA to Oslo,
yeah,
it's insane. Like if
Tyler
I could lay down,
could split. Just so you know, Tyler and I could split a regular seat in an airplane, and we would comfortably get to Australia.
But the thing is, like, I'm like, this is Norwegian Air. That's like the tallest country in the world. Why wouldn't they be prepared for a little more? I'm still like, my knees are pushed up against the seat.
The airline industry is not. It's not for you.
Hottest flight attendants.
Norwegian Air.
It's unreal.
Well, it's a good tip to know. Good tip to know.
Like,
I still find every single flight attendant hot. Sometimes I'll get a flight attendant who's like 83, and this chick is so hot.
Oh yeah. No, there's this like old whore quality about the old stewardesses.
I mean, I wouldn't call them an old whore.
Yeah, no, I mean that in the best way possible.
Sure.
Yeah, like a hot old whore.
Well, I don't know if that comes off right.
Like the girl from Golden Girls. Who's the whore from Golden Girls? Like that was the joke.
Blanche.
I never watched the Golden Girls. I have no idea. I'm not gonna watch a fucking.
It's so funny.
As a young Arab man, where do you think I'm gonna watch that? What do you think that's gonna come on in my house?
Yeah,
these three got a show on their own. Like what?
Yeah. That show is so good.
Why?
So funny.
Listen,
but Blanche,
I like it because Sam Harris's mom created it.
Is that true?
It's 100% true. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, Sam Harris, the atheist dude.
Yeah.
Big time
Islamophobe.
Yeah, his mom.
A lot of people call him an Islamophobe because he's like, I think cutting heads off is bad.
He's like child. He's like child of Hollywood royalty. His mother created the Golden Girls. Imagine that kind of like paycheck in that day. That's why it's so easy for him to have found his inner peace and meditation. That quiet
voice kills me when I hear it. When I hear somebody podcast like Brett Weinstein.
But I do like. All that said, I do love Sam Harris.
I can't stand the voice.
Listen, man.
I'll read a book, but I can't listen. I can't be when I speak. Like I'm like a cat crawling up the wall when somebody talks to me in that calm voice.
If you were an atheist on YouTube between 2007 and 2011,
like Chris Hitchens era.
Christopher Hitchens. I'm a fan of.
I call him Chris. Yeah.
Christopher Hitchens, dude. I read all of Christopher Hitchens' books. Again, only things I've ever read. I'm putting those only books I ever read.
Sam Harris and Chris Hitchens.
Yeah. I tried reading Richard Dawkins.
You went as Milo Yiannopoulos for Halloween, and you're reading Sam Harris and Chris Hitchens.
In like 2009, I was reading like
you were a hipster douchebag. Like you were like the worst kind of
Yeah, I thought that the coolest dude ever was, seriously, I really thought it was William F. Buckley. I thought William F. Buckley was so fucking cool.
Well, we've talked about that. I have no qualms. I mean, I don't care how I feel indifference with his ideology.
But Christopher Hitchens was like a modern day William F. Buckley. Well, was.
Yeah, but Chris Hitchens had a little bit modern aggression to him. There was this kind of almost like effeminate, like sassiness to William F. Buckley that I love so much, because I know for a fact if he would dismantle me, because that kind of sassiness just disarms me and makes me angry.
Yeah.
It's just something about him just kind of flipping his wrist with a cigarette in the wrist and saying something really just kind of sassy that just shuts you down.
Yeah. Well,
unless you're Noam Chomsky.
Noam Chomsky. Okay,
that was a great debate.
This is the worst YouTube channel in 2009 right now. If we get into Dinesh D'Souza soon.
I forgot about that guy.
Oh, he's still making movies.
Dude, the best movies. Guarantee you the best movies.
Yeah. Well, you think they're better than Kevin Sorbo's movies?
Yeah, I do. Kevin Sorbo, unfortunately, just doesn't have the point of view that Dinesh D'Souza does. You know what I mean? Kevin Sorbo is too
Christian?
God. He's too Christian.
Yeah.
Dinesh D'Souza is really into America, which is what makes him super cool.
I think Kevin Sorbo's probably been radicalized into being super patriotic after.
Well, yeah.
Sorbo was probably dressed as Hercules at the Capitol riot, I imagine. Right? Dude, he would be such a celebrity at the Capitol riot.
I think he had a website called like pureflix.com or something, which was like supposed to be like Netflix for Christians. And I remember I actually signed up for a membership for it because I was just like,
Is it free?
No. I paid like $10 for the first month.
Just screen grabbed all his movies.
Well, you're going to get $10 worth of entertainment out of PureFlix for a month.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Well, it was like 9 movies. It was like, I remember like the scrolling feature, like within like a second, I was seeing the same movie again. I was seeing like...
Still, but 9 movies, that's still like millions of dollars that he spent to make these movies. And where was his money from? Just he had a daytime TV show and somehow he made a ton of money?
I think it was like probably syndicated or whatever. That's like where you get all the money, probably. But I mean... Other than that, it's like if you invested your money right in the 90s, you're chilling right now. You know what I mean?
I've gone down a lot of rabbit holes, a lot of Christian movies. Tyler, have you ever watched Christian movies at my house?
No.
We project Christian movies at our house, and there's a lot of the same theme is like the mother dies and the father is struggling to raise a daughter. Mm-hmm. And like, but it kind of feels like he wants to fuck his daughter in the vibe, because I think it's really hard for old men to play the old man. Mm-hmm. It's like when Mark Wahlberg in Transformers, like he had the hot daughter. It was supposed to be who's that guy who got canceled from Transformers?
Isn't it Mark Wahlberg?
Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf was supposed
Everybody forgets That's so
Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be the guy, the hot guy, and Mark Wahlberg's supposed to be the father.
Yeah.
But his energy was like, I'm gonna fuck my daughter because I can't. I can't be the old guy. There's a lot of movies, Christian movies like that, where it's like, are you trying to fuck your daughter because your ego won't let you be the old man in this movie?
We'll get on. Look, one of these days on Patreon, we'll do a PureFlix watch. We'll watch 30 minutes of PureFlix.
We'll Mystery Science Theater it.
Yeah, maybe we will. And we'll do the Islamic version of PureFlix, whatever that is. I'm sure that exists. Deanflix or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it exists.
Okay. We never finished talking about Colin Powell, by the way. We just sort of decided that he said his name wrong, and that's it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You got to give him some credit. If Colin Powell wasn't doing his job, this podcast very well would have a lot less topics to talk about. The Middle East would not be what it is today without Colin Powell. So you have to give the man some credit where it's due.
I'm pretty sure he reneged on that. Like he went back on the Iraq war, even though he sold it. He was the guy who sold it.
He also was somebody who named Zarqawi like a top terrorist to watch on those hot terrorists to watch list.
That was him selling the war. They needed a face. They needed somebody other than Saddam.
Which inadvertently gave Zarqawi all this political clout in the terrorist circles, which
ISIS.
led to the foundation of ISIS.
Yeah.
But you know what? I like to think personally that ISIS was going to start no matter what. You know,
hot terrorist to watch.
I'm not going to be one of these people who says it's Colin Powell's fault. I think once you get old enough, you live a couple years under this beautiful world of ours.
Yeah.
You really start to understand that ISIS was just on its way. There's nothing we could have done to stop ISIS.
They're calling the Afghani branch of ISIS now. They're just calling it IS.
IS?
Yeah, because I think it's the Islamic State in Kandahar or something like.
It's ISK, and it's not that. It's something else. But it's not Kandahar, but it's all the Afghanistan region.
Right, but if they did ISIK, it'd be Isaac, which is a very Jewish name. So I feel like that's why they shortened it down to IS, because the news is all calling it IS.
Yeah, that's weird. I've seen the IS abbreviation before for just in general, just Islamic State. And that's fair. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to know the region. Okay. I understand you're flying under one flag on
Well,
this
I like to
one.
know, like, because I know if you're talking about the West African province, it's going to be a lot of children kidnapping. You're talking about the Islamic State in Syria, there's going to be a lot of people set on fire. You're talking...
Speaking of
kind of know the methods.
Speaking of children kidnapping, I do want to talk about this. 17 American missionaries were kidnapped in Haiti.
Oh, yeah, by the Mazawo 400 gang.
This is, I mean, look, Haiti is not catching a break. On the heels of a presidential assassination, earthquake,
hurricane.
I'm sure another earthquake is on the way.
Yeah.
Haiti, at this point, you got to get out. I hear you.
Well, they tried.
You're trying. We support it. You got to get out.
They were all sent back.
And I understand it's hard. I'm not saying you're welcome places. Unfortunately, you're not. But you got to get out. It's just bad luck. Man.
Yeah.
Can we watch this video really quickly? Because I wanna. There's a couple of details here that I thought were interesting.
This morning, American missionaries in the hands of kidnappers somewhere in Haiti. 17 people, including children, snatched by gangs on their way home from an orphanage yesterday. The Washington Post reported one of the kidnapped messaged for help in a WhatsApp group. NBC News has not seen or verified this message. We've reached out to the Christian Aid Ministries and haven't heard back.
Can we
the
hit pause
abduction
on
happening
this?
here in Port-au-Prince.
Can I say this about missionaries now? It feels a little indulgent. It feels like this ain't about getting the word of God out there, because Google can do this a lot better. If you just buy some Google ads, you can get the word of God out there a lot quicker. You know what I mean?
Right, but if you go in and build a school, that changes things. You can't Google that.
Yeah.
They build schools, they build hospitals, they build all this shit.
It feels touristy. It feels to me like a bunch of people want, and I'm sure it's true. It feels to me like a bunch of people who just want to go to Haiti and like do some shit. You know what I mean? Like they want to just travel and have somebody else kind of pay for them traveling the world and doing all that because
that's a wild spot to go with that urge, though. Be like, I want to travel. Let me go to Haiti.
It's probably pretty nice. It's probably a beautiful island, and I'll tell you right now, as somebody who's just in Canada spending my dollar up there, I wouldn't mind swiping my debit card into Haitian Ralph's.
I would be so stressed out in Haiti. I would be worried about somebody kidnapping me. I would be worried about like if a mosquito bit me. I'd be like, well, what did I just get?
I just spent too much time in the Middle East to give a shit. Like for me, I could totally hang in Haiti, no problem. If it's beautiful enough, or it's got a nice enough time of the year, all the other stuff I could write off, no problem.
You could. I don't know if Palestine's as violent as Haiti is.
It's not as violent, but it's as chaotic. Absolutely, maybe it is as violent. I would probably argue it's close to as violent.
Really?
Yeah. It's not the same type of violence. You're not going to get stopped in the street by a gang, but you will get killed by an Israeli dude wearing a fucking full military outfit. So it's like,
right.
It's not the same, but it's a pretty close.
I'd rather get shot than had my fucking, I don't know. I guess, but I just think these missionaries, like, I think that because Haiti's already like overwhelmingly Catholic. So I don't think they're trying to convert people. So I think they're going down there and just trying to build schools and build hospitals.
I don't have enough information to back this take, but I just got a bad feeling about it. I feel like there's some weird shit going on there.
100%. No, I mean, it's still it's a weird thing to do, to put an ideology behind your help. Like, you're like, we're going to build you this hospital, but you got to come worship at this church first, or that kind of stuff is like,
yeah,
not a fan of that.
Hit play. I want to see, because I think that they said that the youngest person that got kidnapped here was like 2 or something.
Here in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti.
That's
already the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Haiti has been plunging into ever deeper chaos. Thousands fleeing their homes in recent months.
Doesn't that look nicer than most shots you've seen of the West Bank? Are you kidding me?
In July, the country's president, Jovenel Moïse, was assassinated in his home. 2 Americans and
By the way,
15
you know your country
Colombians
stinks.
Look at that
arrested
fan. It's
as part of
brand
the
new
murder plot.
in the president's office.
With the government divided and the
You mean that
economy
footage of all the
cratering, much of
handcuffed
Port-au-Prince
people on the
has
floor?
fallen to
Yeah, that was
armed
a
gangs
government
who
building.
outgun
That was a
and
Sanyo.
outfight police. And amid the anarchy, kidnapping is a booming industry. Men, women, and children snatched at gunpoint for as little as $100.
Jesus Christ.
At least
$100?
328 people kidnapped in the first 8 months of 2021. That's compared to 234 for all of 2020, according to the UN.
234.
Most of the victims are Haitians.
To be
but
fair,
foreigners make
hit
a
pause.
tempting target.
To be
for
fair,
those
if they did
hoping-
snatch or kidnap 234 people, it is $2,300. Like it's a decent sort of ransom rate.
Well, in this article, they're saying they kidnap mostly Haitians, and every now and then they get like not Westerners, tourists or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, how you can't get more than $100. It's not like they're like underselling.
Yeah.
That's like literally all you can get. Like in my mind, I would be like, the ransom would be the last thing I would think.
Yeah. It's interesting, dude. The fact that you could get somebody to kidnap somebody for $100, it really makes you think. You know what I mean?
I know it's a good deal.
Good deal. These guys would be good employees to have in this country. They'd be because there's way less work they can do out here for $100.
How many hundreds could you peel off for them to kidnap before they get the idea to just kidnap you?
Yeah. At a certain point, you're right. You get 2 jobs from them.
Like here's 100, here's 100, here's 100. They're like, how about we just take you?
Yeah, dude, that's crazy, man. All right, hold on. Did they say the age of these kids yet? All right, hit play.
For greater
Those red
ransom.
vans are sick.
A race now to find these people of faith and bring them home safely. Now, NBC News has reached out to the State Department. We have not yet heard back. But in a statement to the Washington Post, the State Department says, "We are aware of these reports and have nothing additional to offer at this time."
How funny is it that? Can you hit pause on that? Like
Worst gig on the planet, by the way.
Haitians escaped a horrible situation. Got to the U.S., we put them under a bridge and whipped them.
Yeah.
Then 17 Americans just decide out of the, to go down there voluntarily. And like we're going to spend a ton of resources trying to get these people back who didn't have to go there.
Yeah.
And then the people who ran for their lives, we're just going to whip them and throw them back.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, who cares about these knuckleheads that are putting their lives in danger?
I think if you take a 2-year-old with you to Haiti,
You're a bad parent. That child should be taken to CPS.
and it's not to say that Haiti, wouldn't be a great experience for that 2-year-old, but not today. I think in a couple of years,
Yeah, it won't remember it anyway.
calms down a little bit.
What do you remember from being 2?
Yeah. The age limit at Haiti is if the child is old enough to differentiate between a real phone and a fake phone that they could carry around for when they get robbed, they give the fake phone out.
Right.
That's when you're old enough to know that you can handle Haiti. It's not a safe place for they need our help. I hear ya. I don't care. You know what it is that rubs me the wrong way about missionaries is this. You're right about the part where they, it's help for, faith or whatever weird thing. But on top of that, they export their bullshit evangelical Christian point of view all over the world, or Catholic point of view all over the world. And so you end up creating, I think what rubs me the wrong way is it doesn't really help anything. It improves some quality of life, but the overall global problem that this is becomes worse because now you have a bunch of Haitian kids who have thoughts about Israel.
Right.
Like, what do they need to have thoughts about Israel for? But you fucking built a school and you gave them a fucking orange in the morning, and now they gotta have thoughts about Israel.
Right. Yeah, I just wonder if they have like control over the like curriculum and all that stuff in these schools they build. I'm sure they
Without
do.
a doubt they do.
Oh,
Without
for
a
sure
doubt they do.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I built a school, you better believe I'm fucking putting my picture in every single classroom.
And it's also like, especially because these people are Catholic, it's like, who looks at like the most devastated country in this hemisphere
And goes,
is like, you know what they need? A child sex ring.
Yeah,
they need the world's largest pedophile organization to come down here and save them.
It's a horrendous. It says a lot about your point of view, where it's like, who's hopeless enough for this to work? Like, let's go to Haiti.
Yeah.
They're not going to Norway. Go to Norway, have fun, but your missionaries are going to end up smoking weed and fucking a prostitute pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
It's a great quality of life out there.
Catholicism only grows where, like, you can put, like, you put a Bible in one hand and bread in the other.
Yeah.
And you go, you get this bread after you read this book.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the only place it fucking grows.
So, that's what I dislike. Even if you are helping people, it'll always rub me the wrong way.
I mean, when there's an ideology, that's why, like, I mean, I guess I would prefer like NGOs, and I mean, I know there's a lot of problem with NGOs, but I mean, at least they're not coming with hopefully like an ideology attached to what the help they're bringing.
My problem
Just give them fucking penicillin without the scriptures.
NGO sounds to me like an STD is one of my big problems with it, because I think NGU or something is like an abbreviation for one of them, maybe gonorrhea or something.
I have no idea. I know. NGO to me just reminds me of GMO.
Well, this is what the show is basically. We just sort of
Word association.
We just do we do word association for 2 hours. We ask you to come to our show on Friday.
NGU. I'm gonna look what the definition.
Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, while you do that,
non-gonococcal urethritis.
see, that's what I think of. Okay, let's.
I guess those Christian ministries are NGOs because they're non-governmental.
Yeah.
So I was wrong anyway.
Well, that's fine.
Gives a shit. Just stop bringing pedophiles into Haiti.
To be honest with you, the clip was. I was really hoping the clip was going to bring something out of us, but it's just ultimately just kind of. It's just sad.
Yeah, that gang footage is scary. The Mazawo 400 or whatever, the gang that did those kidnappings. I've seen like pictures of them, and they have like Michael Myers masks on and shit.
Yeah.
And like really nice weapons. Like they'll be walking down the street, they'll be holding a gun that could pay for like 5 houses on that block.
See, that's what I'm saying. We should take guns to Haitians. we should be taking guns and be like, look, this is look, we're not going to build your school, but we're going to give you a chance to work. I could give you a fish, or I could give you a rod. Which one do you want?
Right.
I can give you a Bible. I'll teach you a couple things, but this gun will make sure that you and your family are fed every night.
Yeah, there was one guy holding it looked like an M4, which is a really nice assault rifle.
Yeah.
And he had a big gut. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, probably correlation.
No, 100% there's correlation. Yeah. The guy with the biggest gun had the biggest gut. That adds up.
Yeah, without a question. I wanted to, before we get into this Walgreens shoplifting in San Francisco, I thought that was just a story that was ripe for you.
I mean, I've done that.
Yeah, it's gotten so out of hand apparently. But I want to talk about China sending a warning to the United States. You know what? Haiti, I was going to call it Haiti. Haiti is so sad because it's like poor people fighting. When we get to Taiwan and China, it becomes a sort of a rich countries fighting. It's a little bit more...
right.
A little more feel good.
Yeah. Easier to poke fun at.
Taiwan and China and the United States... obviously, tensions now with China and Taiwan are at an all-time high. China is asserting its authority to take ownership of Taiwan. I didn't realize that it is getting so bad. Apparently, China's calling for an invasion by 2025. Hit play on this.
From the beginning or right where it's at?
Hit right where it's at.
Chinese soldiers trained for the invasion of Taiwan. A new propaganda video shows an amphibious assault. Beijing says this training exercise targets Taiwan independence and interference by external forces like the U.S. A warning for President Joe Biden and other U.S. allies who continue to voice support for Taiwan. U.S. arms sales to the island at record highs. Taiwan's defense minister says China could launch a full-scale war by 2025. He says military tensions are the worst.
Hit pause on this real quick. I didn't know, so I apologize. That actually did start at a weird spot.
To the world
but what they're basically saying is that China put out a military demonstration, and in part of their demonstration, they put out a warning to the United States to stay out of basically the Taiwan situation.
If the United States stays out of that Taiwan situation, that's not a war.
Yes.
You're talking about an island the size of a pencil eraser versus the third largest country in the world.
Versus, and I would argue probably the fastest growing country in the world versus probably the fastest growing military in the world versus like...
That's an annexation.
China has created such an interesting problem. Just to give people background on Taiwan, not only is it the only democracy in that area, Taiwan is also sort of a liberal place in Asia generally. They're the only Asian country with same-sex marriage is legal. Did you know that? Japan.
It's not legal in Japan?
You would think in Japan, of all the places, you would think Japan is the place. So there's sort of a cultural connection that the United States has with Taiwan on a PR level. Like, I don't think the U.S. gives a fuck, but they ultimately go like, fuck, we unfortunately have to support democracy. It's kind of our thing. We've been talking about it forever. So whenever democracy is threatened or we have to sort of step in.
Well, we're freed up from the Afghani $35 billion a second war.
Taiwan is a small country, 24 million people there. It's the 20th largest economy in the world. Incredibly advanced life there in terms of social structures, high-tech jobs, all that stuff.
Yeah. They were the forefront of the contact tracing during COVID.
Exactly.
They were like developed all that.
Was previously owned by China, was lost to them. Was lost to Japan in the early 19th century, I found out. And in fact, the reason why Taiwan is so advanced is because Japan was going to get into the colony game. They were like, this is awesome. Everyone's doing colonies. We got to do colonies. So they got Japan, and they tried to build Japan to be like a model society.
Taiwan.
Taiwan, I'm sorry. Yeah, to be a model society as Japan is. And it's fucking... It worked, but after World War II, they had to give it back to China.
When I was a kid, everything I ever saw was made in Taiwan. Before everything was made in China, it was made in Taiwan. Like all remote control cars, little Hot Wheels, everything was made in Taiwan.
The United States has made it very clear that if China invades, it will make there is like a particular military station. Maybe you guys know about this? That's stationed out there, the 7th something.
That's more something he would know. That's not army shit.
But they're ready to roll and step in and defend Taiwan. Taiwan is a very important part of consumerism in the world. That's actually what's going on.
Of course. Did they pick 2025 because they wanted Biden out?
I wonder if that was some of it.
That's odd. It's going to be the next president's first, whether it's Kamala or Trump or who the fuck, DeSantis. I have no idea, but I have a feeling Biden's not running.
Yeah, I don't
for
think,
re-election.
I think polls have shown that he's basically lost the confidence of the American people completely. But it was never there. I don't think either.
That's a perfect move to wait till the main backing of Taiwan is in a transitional state.
Yeah, because Taiwan is the world's foremost producer with these semiconductors, which are super valuable in phones, computers, screens, cars, all that stuff, especially electric cars. So if China takes control of Taiwan effectively China then kind of seals the deal. That's the last piece China needs to be like, we're the world dominators now. If you want to have any of the newest equipment if you want your iPhone to work, you need to come through us. There's no way you could do it without us.
They've struck down Hong Kong. Put them in order. Then they get Taiwan.
Yeah, there's been a big push in the United States to start developing our own semiconductors to get out of Taiwan, but it seems easier to just fight China. It's easier to just blow them up because here's the thing. We have all of the military capabilities. Like, the only thing we have is military capabilities. I'm not going to try to compete with them on a sort of a economic standpoint.
Have you ever seen Black Sheep, the movie with Chris Farley and David Spade?
Yeah.
So do you remember when they go into Gary Busey's trailer and it's heavily weaponized? That's what the U.S. is now. The United States is a trailer park with advanced weaponry.
Yeah, without a question.
That's the United States is Gary Busey's trailer in Black Sheep.
It's literally all we have as a country. We can't compete with them on any level other than that. So I sort of think it's the only way to go forward.
Do you think that's going to be a big election point?
I really think we're gonna look at a world where From my standpoint, it seems like we are barreling towards a military confrontation with China on some capacity. I don't think it becomes a full-scale war, but I do think it becomes a situation where people are going to start talking like, who do you want to have the button when China decides to go into Taiwan? Like, do you want it to be, do you want it to be Trump,
or do you want it to be or you want the crazy cowboy who's shooting a pistol in the ceiling?
I'll tell you right now, I think Trump is going to have something strong to offer in that capacity. I think people are going to want him to deal with China.
I actually just listened to a rally he did, and he's diminishing too.
You think so?
Yeah, he's diminishing for
Maybe
sure.
he's just losing access to some of those good old drugs.
He was calling General Milley a loser and all this stuff. He was doing some hits, but it just wasn't hitting like it. It wasn't hitting like it.
Well, everybody's material gets stale every once in a while.
Yeah, but there was just a lack of virility that I was like, I think we're gonna look at Kamala versus somebody else. I don't know who. The problem is the Republican Party is trying to be him, and there's only one him. So there really isn't a great second place.
Yeah, it's just fractured almost beneath him. Yeah. Everybody's fighting to be him, and he, meanwhile, can't even be himself anymore because they're in love with the idea of him that he can't even get to anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, this is becoming sad, dude.
Yeah, I know. And there's just like, I think the illusion, not the illusion, but like the aura of the politician, even though politicians have always been made fun of, people like, I was watching an old Conan O'Brien clip from 1994, and he was talking about meeting Bill Clinton, and he was like saying, and the whole bit was that he was going over in his head what he was going to say because he was meeting the president of the United States. Like that kind of respect to that is long gone. So now like nobody seems viable because anybody who even wants that office is immediately the butt of a joke. Yeah. It's just like crazy. I'm like, I don't know how you'd predict who'd be the next president. Nobody likes anybody.
Yeah. Well,
there's no there's no charismatic JFK type person.
This is the end. I'm telling you, we're at the end. This is it. Like, is it 50 more years? Is it 100 more years? Is it 10 more years? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But I would say we're at the end of democracy. It doesn't really work anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
the Chinese were right. It says if you let democracy roll, they say chaos will ensue. Well,
I mean, yeah, if you give people comfort and the decision in their lives, they're going to vote against their interests until they have nothing.
So
yeah, 100%.
Or maybe we go to Taiwan. I like where Taiwan's at. I feel like Taiwan's at least got a bargaining chip in the table.
That's like thinking in 1961, we should go to Vietnam.
You think so?
Yeah, we should go to Vietnam.
Well, once the war is over, the property's going to go shoot up.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you wait until the war's over?
I buy property right now, and then we
get a rental in Okinawa. That's binocular distance. Keep an eye on it, and as soon as the smoke clears, hop over on a boat.
I say you own it, and then when
what if it gets blown up?
You sell it. Eventually, when it gets blown up, it'll probably be a nice piece of real estate for China. Sell to Evergrande or whoever's in the next bubble.
No, it's absolutely the end times, but it's the end of this. It's a reshuffling, really.
Let's talk about this. This is kind of as end times as it gets. In San Francisco, Walgreens, when consumerism starts to fail because society is no longer safe, that's sort of an interesting sign, right? Because you sort of always think to yourself, well, if consumerism is there, we're okay. If there's a Starbucks, if there's a Walgreens, if there's a McDonald's, everything is okay. Walgreens is now closing its stores in San Francisco. Apparently, they've got a huge problem with shoplifting up there.
Yeah.
There's a law that was recently passed in California which says that anything up to $950 is a misdemeanor and not a felony. So for some reason, well, actually, the reason is clear. What's going on in San Francisco is you have a population who's just stealing $1,000 worth of shit and then just standing outside and selling it to people. And listen, if this is what you got to do because of your mental illness, that's totally fine. But I got to tell you, it's wild because there's like a YouTube trend. You can just go down a rabbit hole just watching people steal from Walgreens.
Yeah.
Watch this tape right here, or this one that we have queued up. Look at this guy. He's got a hefty bag. He's on a bike. The security guard can't touch him because he's not committing a felony. The security guard's allowed to stop you if you're doing something. Apparently, that's a felony.
Wait, so security guard has to determine whether or not something's a felony? Isn't that up to the courts?
Well, look, to become a security guard, you have to go through some training. I can live in a world where we go, listen, you've got your guard card, you did your whatever, you have jurisdiction over this store. I can stop you if you pull out a gun. I can stop you. That's fine.
Wow. Listen, That by the way, that used to be the method. We used to load up a grocery cart and just walk right out the front door with it. And it's so bold.
There's another good one right there. Is that the one where this is just the explanation of the story? But click play on it. Just that
It goes on from morning to night every single day.
All right, we have a YouTube. Okay, anyways.
Well, here's the problem with Walgreens is they lock up the wrong shit. If you go into a Walgreens right now, you got to ring a doorbell and get a key to get blank CDs. Somebody's got to put a key in, slide the door open to give you to buy a pack of blank CDs. Mm-hmm. But then they'll have like Johnny Walker Black just right on the counter.
Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, it's like $200.
Really small things, like very,
Like the way they lock things up does make no sense.
We should do a kind of like a supermarket sweep, but sort of like a Walgreens kind of thing for Vice, where it's like, who can go in and steal exactly? How close can you get to 950 without going over 950?
Right. Yeah. Kind of a Price is Right type situation. Supermarket sweep meets Price is Right.
Leslie Jones will not be hosting it.
No.
This is we need to get the whitest person on the planet.
Yeah.
We need Kirk Cameron
Who's that Nerdist guy?
Yeah, Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, Chris Hardwick could host that.
Maybe the guy from How I Met Your Mother. He could come in and do it. And it's about that's because that would be a fun game show to watch. It's like you've got 30 seconds, the security guard's coming after you.
Yeah.
You got to hit remember, if you go over 950, he's fully authorized to hit you with the stun gun.
Right, 100%.
So
but
you got to keep that in mind. There's a little counter at the bottom corner that's doop, doop, counting all the stuff you're going for.
Oh, he's going for the Sudafed with well-known meth ingredient.
Interesting, but now granted, he's got to talk to the person behind the counter, so he's only got one, so that's one small spice. The move is feminine hygiene products, I
100%.
think. Your stuff and your bags full of that.
Yeah.
So expensive.
And they gouge them because they know they need them.
They know they need them. Shirts don't cover it. No. That's the beauty of this fucking place. I would also go to I think vitamins could be good. Hair care.
Oh, 100% vitamins.
Hair care product. You don't want to go anywhere near the T-shirts that they sell.
No, those are $8. Yeah, no, you get like Rogaine.
Oh, is that not locked up? Rogaine seems like it should be locked up.
Yeah, I don't. They lock up like razors, condoms.
Razors don't seem that expensive
tapes.
to me.
I'm pretty sure there's cassette tapes still there, like Maxwell 90-minute cassette tapes.
Burt's Bees. You want to get a lot of Burt's Bees.
Yeah,
Small space. That's good money right there.
Hair like lotions.
Lotions is a good one.
Stuff with like raw honey and sea salt in it and shit. Yeah.
Okay, I like this idea for a TV show.
Do you think you would get arrested quicker if you stole from the Walgreens or the store in front of the Walgreens made up of the stolen stuff?
Oh, I see. Almost like and then see, that's where you and I think differently. Now Hollywood Ramsey's thinking, now we have a spin show of those guys who sell out there, almost like a Pawn Stars style show.
Oh, like
we get to know three guys.
It's two shows, same universe. You got the Superstore version, which is the Walgreens, and then outside,
it's sort of a Pawn Stars situation where we get to know three guys who are super lovable who are in the trades.
They go around their mountain bike, just crusading,
selling fake Bluetooth speakers. Oh, I get $3 for this. Like they're doing negotiation, they're doing trades with people. It could be good, man. This could be a really good
yeah. White noise machine.
I love it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, San Francisco's done.
3 Walgreens have closed in the city, and apparently they're looking to close more. So, CVS maybe could step their game up right here and open up a couple CVSs. Maybe you and I open up a pharmacy in San Francisco.
That's the last thing in the world I would want to do. I don't feel like clotheslining homeless people so that I can protect my vitamins.
Yeah.
The riding of the bike through the store.
I actually laugh my ass off at the person.
That's where electric doors really get you.
The person who's filming, because there's a couple of those tapes where somebody's just like, it's like a citizen filming.
Yeah.
And you're going, are you really like filming on behalf of the Walgreens Corporation, you fucking dweeb?
No, they're trying to get thumbs up on fucking WTF Reddit thread or something.
Yeah, like check out what I saw.
Yeah. It's like for TikTok and shit. No, it's not. Yeah. No, they're just trying to go viral. World star.
Well, you ever steal from a Walgreens and you ever do any of this kind of business though, where you're stealing and like flipping it? You ever go there?
That was Walmart for me.
This was
big time. So back in the day, like USB memory sticks and like memory cards for digital cameras were very expensive. So it would be like a 16 megabyte card would be like $150. So they would all have the end cap locks on them. So you get this little razor and you pretend you're looking at the specs. And as you turn the memory card, you slice it off the end cap with the razor.
I see.
And then you go to the toy section, deepest shelves, and the toy section, you cut out the memory cards. You could get like 4 or 5 in a store. Then you've made $500 a stop. I saw the whole country doing that.
So you would do that, and then you'd get off, and you'd go to eBay or something and sell it. Okay.
Yeah. So we had just cards on eBay.
Yeah. So now the adult version of that is the Alibaba thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Scariest thing 100%. Scariest thing I ever experienced doing that was we were in Kansas somewhere. I want to say Lawrence, but I'm not sure. But we were in the toys, me and my friend Dave, R.I.P. He's dead. Obviously, one of these guys in this operation ended up dead. Makes perfect sense.
It would be upsetting if they didn't, to be honest with you.
So we're in the toy section cutting out memory cards, and we hear in the intercom, T-bone to the toy department, T-bone to the toy department. And that's where we were literally cutting things out. And we were like, I don't want to fucking meet T-bone. And so we run outside, and we're in Kansas. You can go 300 miles that way, and you can still see it.
Yeah.
There's like literally nowhere to go. So we run out.
I would love to know what T-Bone's actual name is. I hope it really is T-Bone.
Yeah. T-Bone to the toy department. I'll never forget that.
I feel like there's I've seen some people where I'm like, your parents must have known you were a T-Bone from day one. Like you just are fucking
just wall-eyed and 16 pounds.
Yeah. I never have gone into. I was always too. Well, no.
I'm way too scared now.
I would steal a lot growing up, but I would sometimes steal to just steal. Like I would steal and I would throw it away immediately.
I was big into like dumpstering receipts and then stealing whatever was on the receipts and then returning it to get cash. That was a big one I would do.
Oh, that reminds me. I got a good hustle. Let's close out the show on a good hustle. So on the El Pollo Loco app, it'll give you points for if you get a receipt. So you guys got to download the El Pollo Loco app for this to work. And
no problem.
You got to have an El Pollo Loco nearby you. Otherwise, this ain't the hustle for you.
The crazy chicken.
You can, if you scan the receipt, it'll give you points for the purchase. So few people know about the El Pollo Loco app. Most receipts aren't scanned. So you could go to an El Pollo Loco, go through the trash can, pick out 10 receipts, scan them, boom. 10 receipts later, you got a free meal.
You have to get 10 receipts and you get
a free meal.
You get a free meal. Yeah. So that's not bad.
It's not a bad. That's not a bad hustle. Yeah. That's a meal a week.
All the scams that
times 52.
You know, it's another great scam. This isn't even a scam.
It's $520 worth of value right there.
Colombia, LL Bean, Patagonia. A lot of these places have lifetime deals. So if you go to a thrift store and you buy Colombia, Patagonia, LL Bean, you can exchange them for a new version of that for free.
And then you sell the new version.
Yeah, and then you sell the new version.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I like this show. Where's our pod has just spun off into just doing like dirtbag storage wars. And you got to get real dirtbag for it to be called Dirtbag Storage Wars. Because it's pretty dirtbaggy as it is.
Yeah. I mean, they're warring over buffalo head nickels and shit on that show.
Yeah. All right. Hey, be sure to follow the show across all social media platforms at Worst Hour Pod. Will you guys follow all of our social media platforms? Because it's the only way that we get work now. So it will be really appreciated. If you're in the Los Angeles area, come to the Improv this Friday. The ticket link is going to be in the show notes. 25% sold out. Get your tickets now. If you're in the Patreon and you want to come for free, make sure to let us know ASAP. If you're in Phoenix, by the way, and not Los Angeles, I'll be at the House of Comedy this Thursday through Sunday. It's near a strip mall somewhere.
Where?
House of Comedy.
No, what city did you say?
Phoenix. Yeah. And so come to those.
You can come near a strip mall somewhere.
Near a strip mall somewhere. It was near a fairly hot swingers club. I remember last time we went. I went to that venue. Right across, there was like a bar, and we went over, and we were like, dude, this bar fucking rules.
Yeah.
Bunch of ugly-ass dudes, super hot chicks hanging around.
Yeah. That's how middle America works. If you're off the coast, the guys are always slobs, and the girls are always hot.
We quickly realized while we were there that it was actually part swingers club, part working lady night. So it was like, because me and my friends were like, dude, let's talk to these chicks. They're talking to these schmucks. Like, wait till they find out. We just performed for 83 people across the street. And they were just giving us no time of the day, these ladies.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were like MILFs in their like 40s. They're giving us no time. And we later found out that they were working. We later found out that was where everybody got their... A dude cruised by with 3 chicks in his like Lambo a minute later. Fucking roll, dude.
Dude, one of the saddest pandemic images in my mind was a friend of mine was doing the House of Comedy in Phoenix in that brief period where things opened up quickly. Remember that?
Yeah, everything opened up
It was like August of 2020.
Yeah.
Things were opened up and then it shut down fast again. But they were doing socially distanced shows in the club. So in the House of Comedy, there was like one table had one person, then an empty table, then one person, and then an empty table.
Yeah.
And he was doing a set and he did "Did you guys have a good time?" Turn around and there was like just like 7 people in this giant room.
It's so good. I want to do one of those "Did you have a good time?" So I promise you, the background will be hilarious. It'll just be different people fighting and no one's smiling.
Oh, by the way, there was a great last thing I'll say. The Dodgers, when they were playing the Giants, the last game at Dodger Stadium, because I think they closed it in San Francisco, but the last game at Dodger Stadium, there was a huge fight. And the news was saying Giants fans and Dodgers fans were in a scrum. And then I looked at the video and it was just Dodger fans beating the shit out of each other. It was just different Dodger fans just rumbling in the stands.
That's hilarious, dude. All right. Well, hey, let's wrap this bad boy up. You got anything to plug to these people before we get out of here?
I have shows all week. Just go on my Instagram, Mr. Brian Vokey. They're all promoted there.
Ty Pennington. Just a thumbs up from Ty
Got
Pennington.
That's a cool name.
Ty Pennington? Yeah. I think he's the guy from America's Extreme Home Makeover or whatever. He's one of those guys.
Oh, okay, cool.
If you got nothing else to say, I got nothing else to say on behalf of everybody here at The Worst Hour.
Thank you for listening to The Worst Hour of the Week with Brian Vokey and Ramsey Badawi. Peace be unto the prophet. Okay,